autostop besplatno for free. U nas нет денег. Never get dropped off in a fucking city.
It's hard work, really hard work. No one is stopping. No one. We're Malin and Alex, and in 2017 we came up with the crazy idea to hitchhike all the way from Thailand to Spain. This is our story.
Alright, autostop besplatno for free. U nas нет денег.
So, how did we get here then?
We cheated. We got a machuska for about 60p each, so about 70 cents each, so it wasn't too expensive.
How far to the border now?
I think it's about 20k to the border, so shouldn't take long to get there. We have no information basically about this border. There's no information online, so we're just going to see what happens. Should be okay. First ride of the day. And your name is Zora? Zora. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. We're going 8 kilometers with him towards Chaldovan, where we're going to have to get another car to get to the border. So, but we're moving. That's the main thing.
We got a ride again.
Yeah, second ride.
Say hello.
Okay, so we are about 80 kilometers west of Bishkek on the border to Kazakhstan. We got a minivan out of town, about 60 kilometers, and we got 2 rides with some very nice people. We're very chatty. Yeah, there's a bit of queue with traffic, but I think as we're we're going on foot, we should be able to get through pretty fast. See you in Kazakhstan.
We have crossed the border. And we're in Kazakhstan. Almost the same language.
They both speak Russian.
They both speak Russian. There are cows here. Yeah.
It looks the same.
So far.
That was very fast. We didn't take long to get the lift. We're excited. New country. 3,000 kilometers of desert to cover.
What a great start to our time in Kazakhstan. An easygoing border crossing and then a quick ride to the nearest petrol station, where it fortunately didn't take long before we got picked up again.
For 180 kilometers, we went on a straight road following along the Kyrgyz border and were later dropped off in the city of Taraz.
We are on the outskirts of Taraz. And now we need to get to the other side. Oh, thank you. Go, autostop. Besplatno. Yeah. He found it funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I need to get out of the city before we even got into the city. Let's go.
I hate when we get dropped off in places like this. The guy dropped us off next to the bus station and said, "Here you can do autostop." We had no choice but to start walking through the city. There was no way we could hitchhike out, as there were hundreds of taxi drivers trying to persuade us to go with them. It didn't take very long before we got picked up by the nicest guy, who even took us shopping for vegetables before he dropped us off on the other side of the city.
This was a crazy but fun ride, and these 2 lovely Kazakh guys went out of their way to find us a good camping spot.
And we are setting up tent. Marlin's in our new tent. How is it?
I'm skeptical.
She's skeptical. I think it's alright.
Smaller. I think it's gonna leak.
How about a bit of positivity in there?
In Europe, we will freeze our bums off in this tent.
And we freeze the bums off in the other tent as well. It's the same. I'm about to start cooking up storm in the kitchen. We're gonna have couscous salad with loads of spices and herbs. Yeah, it's gonna be delish. See you tomorrow morning.
our first morning in Kazakhstan. We went in 3 cars in Kazakhstan, I think. The last guys dropped us off here. We asked to be dropped off. We're basically right next to the motorway. It's an open field. Slept in our new tent for the first time. Actually, I had quite a good sleep, which is unusual for me in our tent. And we were contemplating on whether we should go to Turkestan, which is about 280 kilometers from here, or to Kyrgyzstan, which is like 600 kilometers from here. But we figured we need to sort ourselves out. We need to get a Kazakh SIM card, which if we go to Kyrgyzstan, it will be too late maybe to get it. So we're gonna go to Turkestan, and we requested to stay with the couchsurfing host there. Was it a he?
I think so.
He couldn't do it, so he contacted his friend. I think is she female?
She is female.
It's a she.
She-male.
It's a woman, a young woman, I think. And yeah, we've been in contact with her. The only problem is that, like, we don't have a Kazakh SIM card.
It was really hot this morning and it took a while to get picked up, but we weren't at all worried. It had been so easy to hitchhike the day before, so why would today be any different?
First ride of the day. We had to wait for about 45 minutes in the sun. Over the side of the motorway, everyone was driving really fast, so it was difficult to get a ride. This guy stopped and he's taking us towards Shymkent, about 100 kilometers or so.
Where we will get another ride.
Yeah, we need to turn off there and go to Turkestan.
Yeah, and we're not going to make a mistake going into the town today, like we did yesterday.
So pay attention.
This was a quick ride towards the next city, Shymkent, and this time we made sure to be dropped off in a much better spot.
At a petrol station. Roads here are more developed. That means that cars are less likely to stop because they're driving much faster, but less than halfway. From here you can either go into Shymkent or turn and go towards Turkestan. Hopefully Alice will get a ride now. No, that car did not want to stop. No luck, eh? Money, money. Money talks. How did you say that? What did you say?
Body language. Try again.
We have not gone very far. 130 kilometers, and we started like at 9:30 maybe. And the time is nearly 5 o'clock. What happened is when we got dropped off after our first ride, we got dropped off by a petrol station. It should have been a good spot. Wasn't really. We waited for a long time. Then this guy appeared. He didn't really say where he was going to take us, but he kept saying, "Don't worry, don't worry." Then he took us into this little village and put us in a taxi, which he paid for, and then that taxi took us to the next town, which still was the wrong place for us, really. And he dropped us off in the most, like in the suburbs, not suburbs, yeah, in the suburbs of that city, and we did about maybe more than 10 kilometers from like the road that we needed to be on. So we bought a SIM card. I was quite upset with that first. I had a little bit of a rant with him because I didn't want to go in that car. Anyway, so we bought a SIM card, and then we didn't get internet to work, so we had to get on the local bus and go to the Tele2 office for them to help us activate the card, and then they didn't want to help us first because they didn't have any electricity in their building, but they only really needed to touch our phone and put in some codes or whatever. Anyway, they ended up doing that, so now we got internet, then we did some shopping, now we had some food, and now we actually paid for a taxi to get us out of town, and we're filtering water, and we're going to try to hitch a ride. We're not going to go and stay with our host in Turkestan because we're just not going to make it in time. It's not going to be worth it, so we'll see what happens.
It wasn't any easier to get picked up here. It actually took 2 full hours. As we were feeling hot and drained, we decided to break up the journey and camp one more night before continuing towards Turkestan and the Kazakh steppe, which would be our next big challenge.
Normally when we have a really bad morning or whatever, normally the afternoon is better. if we talk about hitchhiking, it didn't really get much better. We got lift about 40 kilometers. We were at this petrol station earlier and we thought that would be better because I actually paid for a taxi to get there. Waited and we waited and we waited. No car stopped. Got achy arms from sticking our thumbs out. But eventually we got a lift, maybe 40 kilometers, Alex? Yep. And we decided to stay in camp here. We're not even close to where we should have gone today. But we're by a little river. It looks like it's a party place at the weekends because there are some spots with vodka bottles and other things. We've just had a swim in the river. It was nice to cool down.
How hot is it, Malin?
How hot it is? I think it's been about 42, 43 degrees Celsius today. Very dry. It's been extremely hot. Very hot. It's hard work, really hard work. Well, we'll see. Let's see if we have any luck tomorrow. Because we've got 3,000 kilometers to go in total. And we have... How far have we gone? In total, Alex? Since we entered Kazakhstan. We're not sure. We'll give you an update on that tomorrow.
So this is where we're camping tonight. Sunset. Beautiful. Yeah, we're next to a river. It's a pretty good spot. Here's Marlin. I'll show you where we're camping. Yeah, that's our little spot. I'm gonna. And look at the sunset. It's nice when you can choose your own spot to sleep. Morning. Oh, woken up by the sun. Very hot. Ready to sleep?
Alright.
Yeah.
Good morning. We're packing up. It's taking a long time as usual. I was a little bit naughty. I had a slight lay-in while Alex was making breakfast. We got a nice view of the river. Last night we had company from a few guys. What were their professions?
One geologist, two surveyors, and they work with like the space center they have here, near here, in Kyrgyzstan. They have something to do with Sputnik. They have like GPS devices to measure the ground and take pictures, radar and all that kind of stuff.
Well, they came over last night a few times, and the last time they stayed for a while. We chatted using Google Translation in Russian, and they brought us a big melon. Alex got a beer. It was nice. It was very nice to have some company. They were very nice Kazakh guys. And we're going to try to get a lift now. We really hope that it will work out better than yesterday, because yesterday was horrible. We didn't get anywhere. And I mean, if it's going to be in this pace, we can't really stop anywhere. We just have to constantly hitchhiking, which is hard work. We'll see if we end up in Turkestan today or in Kyrgyzstan. It would be nice to go to Turkestan. It's a very, very, very old city. But Kyrgyzstan might be a better option. We'll see if our couchsurfing host there will answer us, because we wrote to him yesterday and he didn't answer. So we'll try to call him in a bit. We'll see how this day progresses.
Where are you going? Where are you? Turkestan.
Turkestan.
Can we come with you? Can we?
We go up north, it's flat north.
It's okay? Okay.
Thank you.
We go Kyrgyzstan, we go Turkestan and change. Okay, so that's good. Okay, we're in our first ride of the day towards Turkestan. Today actually got picked up really fast by this guy. Very nice guy. We're considering staying one night in Turkestan because it's supposed to be a very beautiful old city, but then we don't go very far. It's only 120 kilometers, so we're deciding what to do. But we've got interesting scenery. Have a look. just flat nothingness. Okay, so we're not going to stay in Turkestan because the lady we were going to stay with has not got her phone on. We can't get in contact with her. So we're going to go to Kyrgyzstan, where apparently there is some kind of plague to do with rats or rats, stuff like that. But we've got a couch surfing host there, so we're going to head in that direction.
I did find a small article about it, but it didn't really say much, and it didn't say how you contract it or anything. There was no warning, like travel advice warning online or anything, so I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, we need to pass that part of this country anyway in order to get to Aktown.
It didn't take long before we started to regret that we hadn't gone into Turkestan with our last driver. It was getting ridiculously hot and there was no shade to protect us from a blazing sun.
44 degrees. I am melting.
To our surprise, there weren't many cars going on this ring road around Turkestan. Time was passing very slowly and the heat was starting to get to us.
Nobody stops.
The few cars that did pass either didn't stop or they wanted payment. And we found it much more difficult to explain the concept of hitchhiking here than we had in Kyrgyzstan. It's amazing how things just change like that, just by crossing the border into a new country.
Money! You wanted how much? But isn't that better than nothing? Isn't that better than nothing? Maybe get a better spot. Kazakhstan. Today we've got no traffic, but we've gone quite a few kilometers already this morning. But back to where we was. No one is stopping. No one. Kyrgyzstan was super easy, super duper easy.
We decided not to try to keep going to Kyrgyzstan today. I think we're in a bad spot. So we've come to stay at a couch surfing host friend's place, and she's a very nice girl called Lilia, who speaks good English. So we're staying here for the night, and we're going to try tomorrow to head out. We're pretty close to the main road, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But a lesson we've learnt: don't get dropped off before the city. You need to get dropped off after the city on the ring road, but it's not always so easy.
I asked, it's not normal, it's a heat wave. Normally it's like only 37, 38. But seriously, it's like 44, 45 degrees today. I couldn't do it anymore. We have been considering if we're going to cheat and take public transport somewhere. I don't know, it's very hard in this heat to imagine that we're going to hitchhike another 2,400 kilometers.
We spent 2 nights in Turkestan, but as there was a heat wave, we didn't get to see much. This was a shame, as this is Kazakhstan's most important historical city. It was a center of spirituality and Islamic philosophy in the 11th century and is sometimes called the Mecca of the East.
The main attraction here is the beautiful mausoleum of Khoja Ahmed Yassau. This was our first and also only mausoleum that we visited in Central Asia this time. We were so impressed by its beautiful architecture and we swore that we would come back to this part of the world again. And this, guys, is where this episode ends.
Join us next time as we set off into the vast Kazakh steppe and continue our overwhelming but epic journey towards Europe.
It's actually the first time during this trip that I really feel worried. We might have a ride all the way to the Caspian Sea.
We are off-roading in a heavy goods vehicle. If you've made it to the end of this video, guys, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel and drop us a comment below, and we will see you in the next one.
And a special thanks to all of our patrons for keeping us motivated and helping us stay on the road. If you too want to become a patron, head over to our page. You will find the link at the end of this video and down in the description below.